Good morning and welcome, everyone. I call the Kansas Corporation Commission meeting on this last day of January to order. I'm Chair Susan Duffy, and with me today is Commissioner Keene. Commissioner French is away on business. Today, our agenda has 25 consent items and one noticed item. Commissioner Keene, you've had the opportunity of reviewing the consent agenda items. Do you have any questions or comments?
None for me, thank you. I move approval.
I second the motion. So we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you. The first noticed item and the only noticed item is docket number 23 TRAM 459 PEN in the matter of the investigation of Vegas Trucking LLC of Oberlin, Kansas, regarding the violations of the motor carrier safety statutes, rules, and regulations, and the Commission's authority to impose penalties, sanctions, and/or the revocation of motor carrier authority. This is a penalty order, and with us today is our litigation staff, Hassan Latif. Good morning, Mr. Latif.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioner Keene. The penalty order before you arises out of a compliance review of Vegas Trucking LLC, a common carrier which hauls grain, feed, and hay operating out of Oberlin, Kansas. This investigation was conducted from September 12th through November 2nd in 2022 by special investigators Penny Fryback and Erica Pargas. Based on concerns raised by our special investigators during their preliminary review prior to the compliance review, the Commission issued an emergency suspension order to this carrier on September 13th, 2022. On January 9th, 2023, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, based on our investigators' review of the carrier, also suspended the carrier, issuing them an unsatisfactory rating. The carrier remains suspended on both the state and federal level at this time. This penalty order, however, is based on staff's investigation, and the investigators found several violations. The penalty order before you assesses penalties for 20 of those violations, resulting in $13,750 in total penalties. And the violations, which I will briefly summarize, included a $750 fine for failing to obtain periodic annual inspections, a $1,000 fine for failing to retain supporting documents for the loads hauled, a $3,000 fine for resuming operation of a commercial motor vehicle which had been declared out of service by the Highway Patrol at roadside prior to making any repairs to those out of service violations, a $500 fine for using drivers that did not possess a valid CDL. The carrier's drivers operate using foreign Mexican licenses, and Kansas state law requires drivers who reside in Kansas for longer than 6 months to acquire a Kansas license to operate. Also, they have a $500 fine for not having valid commercial registration for the vehicles used. Although the carrier is domiciled in Kansas, it uses vehicles with Nebraska plates. And when a carrier with out-of-state plates operates point-to-point in Kansas, they're required to either obtain a permit for intrastate operations in Kansas or obtain Kansas registration. Also, there was a $3,000 fine for hauling loads in excess of statutory gross weight limits, which is the limit in Kansas is 85,000 pounds. And the investigators found 9 times that the carrier was hauling above that weight limit. Additionally, there were violations related to the carrier's drug and alcohol testing program and their inspection practices, among others. Staff believes that the order appropriately assesses penalties against the carrier and recommends approval of the order. Both I and Gary are available to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Latif. First, I'll turn to Commissioner Keene. Do you have any questions or comments? You're on mute, Commissioner Keene.
Thank you. No questions, just a comment. Thank you for the overview, Hassan. It was very thorough and pretty descriptive of the issues that are at hand. I simply want to commend both Penny and Erica for how conscientious they've been in their attention to detail, and therefore with their attention to public safety. That's what these inspections are all about. And once again, I commend them for their thoroughness and their professionalism. Having said that, I will move the approval of the order.
I second the motion. And I would concur with Commissioner Keene's comments as well. This sounds like this was a very involved and complicated docket that they had to work on and work through and with the feds. So we have a motion and a second to approve the order as described. All those in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you. Well, it appears, Commissioner Keene, that that's the only business we have on the agenda today. I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I second the motion. All those in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. We are adjourned.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.